Hey guys, my name is Robert Strada. Today I'm going to show you my opinion philosophy on why do I apologize so much. I have been one who's apologized a very lot. This is something I had to struggle with a lot in my life. I was a very shy person. I was an introvert, all right? And me being as loud and the way I am now, it took quite a very lot of intentional practice. So why am I even making a video like this? Whenever I look online, I'm trying to find something. It's either really watered down basic content or it just doesn't really align with a masculine frame. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of say how it is. A lot of them is just like, yeah, you need to like get over yourself and talk to your therapist and cry about it and be a little and so I just don't really like that. So you have my commitment that by the end of this video, my big claim is that you're gonna understand why you're apologizing, and then I'm gonna make another video about how to correct it. But the first thing is you need to understand. You need to understand, then you can solve a problem. If you don't understand what's happening, can't solve it. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Number one is that, I mean, it's pretty basic. You care too much, all right? This is a potential possibility, if not one of the other ones, is that you just care about other people's opinions, and so you're using it as a self-soothing word to say, hey man, I'm sorry, you know, my bad, all right? You're caring about how other people feel, you're caring about the outcome. You're just caring in general. The word would be is that you just give too many all right? And so basically you need to give less okay? And that's gonna be in the other video on the how, but you just need to understand that. There's also another one about conflict, and I think that would be a really good one to dissect too. I made multiple videos on how to handle conflict and how to articulate it, how to mentally frame it so that way you can look forward to it, as well as just the exact things you need to say and do to mentally frame it right. By the way, okay, I'm gonna give a quick disclaimer. I know it's late at night. I'm trying to do the best is the best I can do. I got some candles. Look at this. I got some lights for you guys. This is the only time I got to film. We got little figurines, Deadpool, and you got a samurai. Not sure you can see him, but trying my best here. All right, we're going to number two. You were awarded for being easy and agreeable. So this is going to layer in more or less childhood conditioning, childhood drama, all the stereotypical stuff that, honest to God, you probably could find on the internet. But I'm going to go a layer deeper into childhood, I want to say wounds or trauma, okay? And by the way, this was my biggest hurdle. I love my father. I love my family. But I was conditioned in a way where I always was apologizing in order to basically make sure that everything was at ease, you know? If there was silence, that was bad. If I wasn't apologizing, people were gonna explode or something bad was gonna happen, all right? So a part of my literal identity became ingrained in this habit, all right? So not only was it a habit, but I'm making this clear, it was a part of my identity to be the individual that apologized for that. A great book to read on this, if I were to give you an extra resource, Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. He talks a lot about identity. Yep. If you identify as somebody who does that, then you're going to continuously do that. And then it's going to be this continuous loop of I do this, and then you apologize, and then you look weak, and you cannot be respected. Because the only reason you even watch a video like this is because you understand it's a problem, and it's a barrier in your leadership journey, and it's a barrier to being more respected than you otherwise would like to become. You cannot be respected and invisible at the same time. Number three is you have an unhealthy avoidance or an association with conflict in general. Conflict, like I said, I've made multiple videos about it. I would tell you to look at it, a little sneak peek, and also so I could articulate it in a different manner if I could, would be conflict is healthy. Conflict is going to be something that if you do it the right way and you hold your frame, not only there are individuals out there that do conflict every day, every single day, multiple times a day, and they have full loving wives and lives and children, and they are happy because of the way that they mentally frame it. Do I have all the answers? No. But do I know that these individuals exist? All right. For example, the President of the United States of America, probably a really stressed out individual. Maybe you don't want to use him. Maybe you want to use a businessman. All right. There's plenty of businessmen. There's only one president who is able to have conflict on a daily basis, and he is still able to not be super stressed out, hair's not falling out, able to work out. All right. So you need to learn, all right, not only what happened, why, dissect why you have an unhealthy association with conflict. What's going through your mind? Do I care too much? Am I a little bit too soft? If you are on a pendulum, let's say you're on a pendulum on a 0 to 10, all right? And 0 is I do no conflict. And then 10 is too much. Normally 10 would be good, but in this case, they're both two extremes. We want you to about a 5. All right. Now again, I'm gonna repeat this. A 0 is no conflict. I hate it. I hate it. I can never do it. I squirm. I keep my head low. Oh my God. Making eye contact is conflict. Number 10 is like a psychopath, a sociopath. You know, somebody that like legitimately does not care for human life, and they're just like super okay with killing people in conflict. Okay. Maybe I can use a different example. Yeah, let's use a different example. Anyway. This is just, you just don't care. You just don't care at all about conflict, and you almost look for it. You're just looking for it. You kind of want to start at a 10 versus a 0. You don't want to start at a 0 and work your way towards the 5. You want to start your way almost at a 10 and work your way to about a 5, 6, 7 is where you want to land, where you're kind of like having conflict on a daily basis. Because the people that have the most growth are the most comfortable with conflict and do it on a daily basis. So, watch my other video. Number 4, you have just low self-worth and a low self-esteem. Okay, maybe you look at the other person, maybe they're an authority figure. Maybe you were on a lot growing up. Maybe you were a fat kid. Okay, I was a fat kid. I was 300 pounds. Okay, 300 pounds, my man, in high school. And so when you feel less important, unworthy in social situations, naturally, in order to, you're just going to subconsciously subside any future conflict that's a potential possibility by like, you know, man, sorry, you know, not to be offensive, not to like hurt your feelings, not to overstep my boundaries, you know, all that stuff. Number 5 is guilt and over responsibility. Your brain, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to explain this the right one, because actually I want to like dive into psychology a little bit because I know a little bit about it. All right, here we go. We got an article from ScienceDirect.com. Research in social psychology shows that people who are prone to guilt and strong negative self-evaluation are more likely to apologize even when they have not done anything wrong. These emotional traits make the brain feel responsible for damage that doesn't exist. So your brain will say sorry because it feels like you should fix things even when nothing is broken. Number 6 is that you are trying to control how others feel, all right? And this is a form of emotional manipulation, okay? So you, by default, your brain is telling you that if I apologize first, then I can control their emotion, right? But the paradox to this is that the more that you try to manage others' emotions, the less grounded you're going to actually become and the less respect you're really going to be getting. Number 7, this is one that potentially could happen a bit, is perfectionism. You basically are a perfectionist, and every single action you do, the words you say, mannerisms that you have, and if for any reason you disobey a single piece of it, you're just going to naturally apologize for the deviation. It's a form of OCD. It's part of anxiety disorder. Number 8, and this is probably the most biggest one, is it's honestly just a compulsive safety behavior. You know, you have a bad association with a conflict, and so it's a habit that turned to a behavior to reduce social stress in order to prevent a potential conflict to come up or any form of, I guess, danger in your mind or any unpleasing of another human being. God forbid you mispleased somebody and made them dislike something that you said. You apologize in advance as a compulsive safety behavior. It's a habit, right? So, number 9, you were never taught that disagreement can be safe. You grew up and then there was 2 outcomes of disagreement. You would see if you disagreed with someone when you were growing up, and yes, I continuously bring up the childhood aspect because that is where people learn their communication skills that are absolutely trash and garbage. They're garbage communication skills they gather from childhood. And then you gotta own it. You have to understand it, own it, stop blaming other people, stop being a little and then you gotta fix it because your daddy ain't coming to fix that for you. So, when you were a kid though, we have to understand this. When you disagreed, you would explosion, either number 1 or number 2, withdrawal. Okay, both were very bad. And you don't want those to happen, so you have some form of attachment. I'm not gonna say disorder because again, like saying all these words like OCD and anxiety disorder. Like I don't even know how much I believe in these things. I don't really like care what any form of literature says in psychology. I really just don't think that these things have been around for over 10, 20 years. God forbid I put this on YouTube and they ban me for saying something like that. But yeah, that's what you're gonna see in childhood. Number 10, You learn that your presence is going to equal friction, okay? You may have heard things from your parents or from people or teachers or church ministers. I don't really care. Yeah, the people in the church, they could be little pricks too. You think that they're exempt? Your Boy Scout master, I don't know, your uncle, your grandpa, they say things like, you're too loud, you're too sensitive, you're too difficult, you're too much, you're causing problems, okay? And then when you're saying, I'm too loud, what do? Quiet down. You're too unreasonable. You get more reasonable with your life and your goals. You're too this, you're too that. That should make you so angry, okay? It makes me extremely angry when I hear shit, all right? Now, I used to not have a switch where I could control it. Now, I could use it as a force. It's not just something I explode with, but I could use it like a laser. An energy that I have, which other people don't even have that energy. And not only do other people not have that energy, but they don't even have the awareness that they've been dragged down through the mud for so long, just dragged along, okay, to be able to correct it. That's what I'm giving you. I'm giving you awareness. That's my gift to you. Number 11. You think that conflict, I believe that my figurine just dropped. Yeah, I'm a little samurai. He's going to have to take. Number 11 is that you think conflict ends relationships. Oh my God, there cannot be anything further from the truth. I don't want everybody just jumping down my throat like, whoa, when I heard you say this next part, Strata, I just figured that I could just be a to you. It's like, no, I'm going to slam my fist down your throat if you do this. But what I do is I demand conflict from my friends. I demand it from the friends I trust for them to do this to me continuously with my life. Hey, I'm not saying that to my friends. Hey, if I'm messing up, like, dude, tell me, communicate with me. I'm like, listen, if you don't, I'm going to be very pissed at you. And I'm going to set the example as a leader, okay? And I'm going to start conflict with my friends first, okay? I have a way of doing it so I don't burn my bridges. But for the friends that I trust and I know can handle it and are going down a life path where they are growing and growing and growing and growing, they're not just the losers that work at Walmart and smoke a joint on the weekends and watch Netflix, you know? Those are the people that I'm going to start conflicts with because I believe it's very healthy. And I need a I need a feedback loop. I need a feedback loop from people that I trust, okay? And I need a brotherhood. Okay? And conflict will not end a relationship. And if it does, okay, if a small conflict ends a relationship because you poked someone's soft spot, then who the cares? That person probably was too sensitive for your life. And there's exceptions, right? You don't want to go doing this to your boss and your coworker, but we're talking about like people that are going to be, I'm talking about people that are going to be close to your life. It's going to end a relationship, okay? And to be honest with you, even if it does, there's a great story, which I talked about in another video about Patric by David. He got in a conflict with somebody, and basically they didn't talk to him for years, and eventually they thanked Patric for saving their life, Patric by David, because he was willing to call the guy out in a way that nobody else was willing to. That's the power of being okay with conflict, not apologizing, not pussyfooting around. All right, number 12 is you have a perceived lower status compared to that individual. Oh, I'm nice and warm now. Oh, it's even raining a tiny bit, by the way. I don't know if you can see that. Perceived lower status. You just think the person's above you. You know, I'll tell you that being in the military, you talk to a lot of, not generals, but I mean, you know, I've talked to captains, people that are very, very high rank, and eventually get to a point where it's like, yes, sir, I'm going to maintain my military bearing. I'm going to be my best. In my heart of hearts, I just kind of stopped giving a about people on the outside of the military. I'm going to show my utmost respect. I need to make sure I clarify exactly what I just said. But it's not going to just intimidate me to the point where I'm shivering in my boots, right? I'm a human being. I got to do my thing, all right? I'm not just going to be perturbed every single time someone that shits exactly the same way as me and puts on their pants in the morning the exact same way as me and breathes air and bleeds red the exact same way as me. Why would I do that? The easy cop-out to me helping you solve this is saying that, dude, we do all put our pants on in the morning. We do all eat food, and we all take dumps, and we all are human beings. And that person is going to die, just like you. And you're going to die your life being a scared little that's too afraid to work on themselves because of authority, okay? It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Who cares? I'm not saying just disrespect cops and all these people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't be scared and don't be over apologizing due to perceived authority figures. Okay, I'll tell you what. Why do you ever watch Scarface? Scarface, best movie ever on this. Oh my God, stereotypical guy moment here. Remember the moment where they hang the guy out of the helicopter? Spoiler alert from an '80s movie. It's probably like 40 plus years old now, so I'm not really spoiling nothing. But when Scarface was talking to the other individual with balls, okay, he's like, "What are you guaranteeing for us? Huh? What's going on here?" Why do you think he put Scarface, Tony Montana, in a position of power? It's because he was willing to talk to him. He was willing to have conflict with him. All right? That's a perfect visual example that you guys should watch. You should watch that whole scene about Tony Montana does that. Okay? Honest to God, what really helps me out with this, again, we're not doing some after school type here. Like, what helps me out a lot is anger. Like, go figure. But, like, seriously. You know, I'm not going to let you, just walk all over me just because you're higher status. I'm not apologizing just because you're higher status. If I mess up, I'm a man up. Jocko Willink taught me this. Just because I'm not some man that is going to not apologize at all because it's my ego is so big. No, I'll still apologize. But I'm apologize when it matters. I'm apologize when I need to apologize. The name of the video, okay, is why do I over apologize? Why do I apologize so much? Not never apologize again. No, you don't need to be that guy. I've been that guy, okay, and I really have gotten a lot better at selecting when, okay. And I know I'm becoming an analyzer on you on this, but this is something that could seriously hurt your reputation, and it could destroy your power. And it's important to get the fundamentals right. And this is, if you are doing it a lot, it is a problem. All right. Number 13, it's reassurance-seeking behavior in an apology form. All right. It's a compulsive behavior. So basically, you are looking for reassurance on something that you do. You're looking for reassurance that they still like you, reassurance that you haven't pissed them off because you care. And the way that you are doing that is through small apologies continuously throughout the conversation. All right. And I also want to keep in mind that those people I bring up, Jocko Willink, Patric by David, their books are all in the YouTube link description in the bottom. It's below here. Okay. So thank you very much. If this video would not be anything, by the way, if you don't watch this other video here, we have a playlist of communication and body language, etc. And then also based on your viewing patterns, YouTube is going to recommend you the best video right here. Thank you guys so much. Comment for debate, for support. Okay. Thank you so much. I'd be nothing without you. I just want to help people. Thank you.